Hey guys, this is Luminous, and today I'm going to show you something that I thought's very cool. The end result of this is a 9 minutes Bucha Travel Tinker, as well as a Soul Ring on top of that. So without further ado, let's jump into a first person point of view of me playing this Tinker. Now, in order to do this, you need a courier as well as a pair of observer wards, which I don't think it's too difficult to get in a public game, considering that most supports do actually buy it nowadays. I think you have to ask very nicely to get that pair of observer ward though. Here you can see that I cheat myself 350 gold because, well, it's a single player mode. I start with a pair of Tangos and the Sage's Mask, and we're basically going to just stay at this item until we get that Soul Ring, and then until we get that Bucha Travel. We're going to also have to get a pair of Tango later on for purposes mentioned later. But for now, the most important thing you want to do is place this observer ward correctly. That's the spot my mouse hovering on, that's the spot you want it on. A little bit too further to the right means you can't actually see this path in front of Tinker at this moment. And seeing that path is so important, and I'm sure you guys could see where this is actually going. We're going to use that 3 Tango to eat a path behind these lines of trees. And basically that's going to be our little safe haven for the next 9 minutes or so. We're going to be hitting creeps, eating trees, and to create ourselves a path. And basically these ancients going to just keep looping around, try to hit you. Once they're outside a certain distance from their camp, they will start to walk back. And basically you create a little nice pocket where you could kind of, hit them, and you're not going to sustain as much damage. And that's the last tree you want to eat. Now, this jungling pattern isn't creep dependent, which means if you see, dragon spawns, or the black dragon, sorry, or if you see rock golems, or if you see these, I don't know, dinosaurs or whatever they're called, it's all okay. But to be completely honest, the black dragon is the hardest camp to jungle. It's not like you can't do it, it just requires you to have a little bit more better micro to make sure you don't actually die to it, because you can actually die to black dragons. They do quite a bit of damage and they will shoot over the trees. These range ones will shoot over the trees as well, but the damage output isn't that significant. So one of the most important thing about this jungling is the time and the stacking. Every 151 you should be getting ready to get the stack off, because if you actually miss one stack, this is done. You're not going to get a 9-minute Bucha Travel. The most important thing is to not miss a stack, and that clock above your head, that is the thing that you want to keep the most attention to. 151 is the time you want to be in front of the camp and start hitting it and then pulling back. And of course you can see that I'm constantly hitting these guys and trying to get as much extra damage onto them as possible. As you're hitting them, and they're going to be running back and forth in front of you, and that's why that ward earlier I dropped is important, because you won't see this path if you don't have that ward sight. Now as these creeps run back and forth, look at the clock. Generally you don't want them to be running once you're past about 141, 142-ish, because they do take quite a bit while to go back to their camp. So you see that right now it's 145, 146, I stop hitting them, and then I get into position to get yet another pull. 151's the timing, and then we're going to go right back. You can get a little bit creative with your marching machine timing. Generally I do it dependent on how well I'm doing, in terms of if I'm getting my level 3 march very soon, or if I just need to start clearing the camp a little bit. You're not really pressured in time, but it is very important to actually get to your level 3 marching machine as soon as possible. If you scroll back to earlier segments, as I'm talking about the warding and the timing and whatnot, you can actually see I'm migrating very precisely. I'm trying to hit the same creeps over and over again. And the reason you want to do so is that actually allows you to jump levels quite quickly. If you depend on random hits, as well as marching machines pseudo random damage, you could actually be at level 2 right now, or you could be level 4 right now. It all comes down to luck. But if you're actually hitting the same creep each and every time, you jump yourself a couple levels ahead, and you'll get earlier access into that level 2 march machine, which is very important to speed up your jungling pattern. So you can see that I have upgraded my Soul Ring. Use that sparingly because you are a little bit afraid of black dragons. They can actually kill you. And have gotten myself another pair of Tangos. This extra pair of Tango is very important in terms of recutting the trees that grow back. Now in Dota 1, the trees grow back every 5 minutes. In Dota 2, I feel like it's a little bit random. I don't know the exact timing. I want to say it's 5 minutes. but it feels like sometimes it's 530, sometimes a little bit longer, sometimes a little bit shorter. But you will actually need this pair of tangos, and don't be greedy and be like, oh man, I need tango up, especially if you're getting hit by black dragons. You have to save that pair of tangos for those 3 trees, because if the trees spawn in the wrong position, you get trapped in like that, you gotta eat out immediately. Also, don't forget that you want to be replacing your wards very, very soon. Looks like I'm about to miss my pull, but I just got it just in time. About 54 and 55 is the maximum time you can actually be there without missing a pull. As the camp gets bigger and bigger, you want to pull a little bit earlier as well. Now, this kind of route of ancient stacking and ancient jungling, I wasn't the first one to actually find this out. I originally found this out from a video made by a North American player. His name is I'm a Sheep, so shout out to him. He did this with Sniper, and you could kind of see how you can do it with Sniper. Use his range, get headshots, and keep basically jungling it up. But when I personally tried it, maybe I didn't do it as well. I felt like it was a little bit too slow. I was thinking to myself, what hero could best benefit from this kind of jungling? And Tinker kind of came to mind, because a lot of professional players do have one of their supports to stack. And you see that the tree has grew back, so you have to use a tango to back it out. Replace a ward before that one runs out and go back to pull. Yeah, so I'm a Sheep is the first one that used Sniper to do this. And I was like, well, I see professional player do this quite a bit with Tinker. They ask their support to actually stack and use March Machine to blow it up. Now, in terms of comparison, in terms of timing, if you're doing quite well in a solo lane, you will actually outspeed this. But this definitely outspeeds a dual lane. And of course, this is not last hit dependent. You're kind of in no fear of ganks. If you're having a really bad game in lane, then you could die a couple times, and you definitely miss a couple of last hits. And I'm not sure whether everybody could get consistent 9 minutes to boot your travel in a lane. Whereas here, if you can micro decently, then you can get it. So if you look at the timer right now, we're sitting around almost 7 minute mark. And it doesn't seem like I will make it, but keep in mind that we already have level 3 March. So it's very, very easy to kill these next couple camps and then get your boot your travel. Black Dragon, even though it is the hardest camp, it does give you the more gold, the biggest amount of gold. The dragon gives you 200 gold as it dies. So here is where I have a little bit of micro issue. You can see that I'm hitting the small dragon, which is what you want to do early game. Going back to what I said about jumping levels, you want to concentrate your fire on killing the smaller units. Here's where I need to actually hit the black dragon itself, because eventually I have to drop a marching machine anyways, and that marching machine will kill the small dragon because it does so much damage. I need to actually stack up damage on the big dragon to get the damage off. But at this point, you can kind of see how it's gonna work out. You stack pull, you stack pull, you stack pull, and then you're gonna get about a 9 minute boot travel. Now, the best time I ever gotten in my life, which I did not record unfortunately, is around 240, 236-ish in terms of boot travel. I think I got like 242 here, but consistently, if you don't miss any pull, if you don't die or have any, if you don't forget about wards, if you don't get trapped inside of trees when they grow back, you will consistently get a 9 minute boot travel. It needs a little bit of practicing, quite a bit of practicing, because any single one mistake will mess up your timing, so you can't actually make many mistakes. But for the most part, it's not that hard. It's kind of chill, and of course you could check all of the mini map if you want to do so for all that stuff. So that's it. Yeah, you're gonna see me getting my 842-ish boot travel with the Soul Ring, and that means it's time to go gank or farm or do whatever the hell you want to do as a boot travel tinker. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something from it. And until next time, this is Luminous signing out. See you guys.